For cheap D2R items, visit aoeah.com. You get 3% off with the code Arreat. Check the link in the description. Hello and welcome everybody. In this video, I'm excited to welcome another legendary player to the Hall of Fame. So light off and spot on for Polytheist and his incredibly powerful Fire Druid. Poly has been working on this build idea since 2008, even though it was often frowned upon. But Poly had a vision. He wanted to make his Fire Druid PvP viable. It wasn't until Diablo 2 Resurrected patch 2.4 that this vision could truly become reality, because that patch brought two essential improvements. Armageddon, Volcano and Molten Boulder each gained a physical damage component, and the global casting delay of all skills was removed. Since then, every skill with casting delay has its own individual cooldown timer. These changes opened the door for Poly to finally realize his vision. He worked tirelessly on his build and his gameplay, and became the feared PvP druid and DFC champion he is today. Almost every day Poly streams his PvP training for several hours on YouTube, never shying away from challenges and facing the strongest opponents. You should definitely check it out yourself. The link to his YouTube channel is in the description below. Make sure to leave the man a sub. If you have any questions about his build or how to play it, just wait until Poly is online the next time. Then the Druid Master himself can answer you everything live on stream. In many PvP leagues, Fire Druids have been banned since LOD, because they were accused of having an overly passive playstyle, running away permanently, hoping for Armageddon to hit the opponent. But anyone who has ever played against Poly or watched him playing knows that this is absolutely not the case here. Poly can play the Druid very aggressively, he uses all different fire attacks to apply pressure, and even transforms into a bear mid-fight to finish off his opponents. So let's check out his build. I'll first show the all-around setup, and afterwards we'll look at the sideboard and which items he swaps for which matchups. Poly's main weapon is a Wizard Spike. Many would probably expect a Heart of the Oak, since you can reach the 163 FCR breakpoint by FCR on the helm. But such builds often end up being very inflexible. The 50% FCR from Wizard Spike allow Poly to sideboard different headgear without losing breakpoints, and Wizzy also provides massive resistances and mana. He socketed a rare jewel with 7% FHR, 4 rep life, 9 strength and some fire resistance. On his head the druid has a crown of ages with 2 bear runes, mainly for the physical damage reduction. His enigma is built in a breastplate. He also has Spirit, Arachnid Mesh and Mage Fist. That's necessary to reach the fastest cast rate. Then Poly has 2 very nice rings with FCR and rep life. Especially in long tough duels, fast life regeneration is very valuable. Stats, life, mana and resistances are also great here. On the amulet, the druid needs at least 18% FCR and of course plus 2 druid skills. Poly's amulet is high-end stuff. It also has 23 strength and 9 rep life. On his feet he wears crafted blood boots, adding another 10 rep life. So his boots are awesome as well. Next to a perfect torch and a perfect Annie, the inventory is filled with 44 life elemental skillers. The small charms are usually res life or mana life, depending on what is needed. With this setup, Poly's Druid reaches 40 rep life, 39% physical damage reduction, 165% FCR, and more than 100% FHR. Now let's talk about the sideboard. Against pure physical characters like Barb, Smiter or Amazon, Poly removes the rest charms and plays life mana small charms only. Against pure magic damage characters like Hammerdin or Bone Necro, Poly plays his insanely strong Flickering Flame Helm, a Suicide Branch with a jewel similar to the one in Wizard Spike, and the small charms with life and mana. Against the Fire Sorceress the setup looks quite similar. He plays Suicide Branch and Flickering Flame, but small charms with life and fire resist. Against the Cold Sorceress, Poly plays Aldor's Helm with 2 Tool runes, Trangul's Gloves, and small charms with life and cold resist. He keeps the Wizard Spike, allowing him to stack more than 400 cold res easily. Against pure lightning characters as a Light Sorc or an FOH Paladin, he puts a Druid Circlet with 2 low runes in it, and small charms with life and lightning res. The 20% FCR isn't mandatory here, but it would also allow him to equip a Wisp Projector or even a Hoto if needed. Against assassins he puts a Circlet with damage reduced by 25, socketed with 2 low runes and a Zol. He also uses 1 charm with 20 life and 5 all res, 3 charms with 20 life and 11 fire res, and 6 charms with life and lightning res. For Ghost Sins, Poly has another Circlet, socketed Zol Bear. Against poison characters he plays Flickering Flame again. It has poison length reduced by 50%. Further he gets another 75% from his swap amulet. In the inventory he puts small charms with life and poison res. When fighting Nado druids, Poly keeps the Crown of Ages, but equips the Suicide Branch and fills the inventory with some life cold res charms. As Poly often plays in public games, he also has some gear against Auradins. Here Hotspurs are extremely helpful, and for stacking more fire resistance, a Monarch with 4 rubies works pretty fine. The same in yellow works against lightning, of course. Now about the stats and skills. With his gear, Poly doesn't need to invest a single point into strength. So in matchups where he doesn't need block chance, he can put all into vitality. The skill tree is very simple as well. All fire attacks are maxed. Armageddon will always be active, so the opponent must constantly watch out for the falling meteors. Volcanoes can be name locked directly under the opponent, still giving him a slap when the opponent teleports away. To catch the name locks, Poly likes to use Fissure. Molten Boulder can knock the enemy back and hit him multiple times. Poly also works tactically by casting the boulders in the direction where he plans to move next, or by shooting them directly into obstacles to detonate them instantly. Then 1 point goes into Cyclone Armor, and 1 point each into Werebear and Shockwave. This allows Poly to transform into a bear during the fight, and for example stun opponents standing in a volcano. Finally, all summons down to the bear get 1 point. The pets of course provide some extra protection. At level 99, the build is perfectly maxed out. You can watch the druid live in action regularly, either in Poly's live streams or in the DFC. Here are a few highlight moments that beautifully show how the Fire Druid uses all of his different tools in an aggressive manner. I say goodbye, take care, and may the loot be with you.
fissure. Good old bud. Yes! Yes! Good old bud. Good old bud. I am addicted to this character. Missed my opportunity right there. Good old bud. Had to have been dealt before. He probably was health bug now that I think about it. Ooh, I got lucky on that boulder connection. Good duel, buddy. I'm merely a grizzly bear. What are you afraid of? Stupid. There he is. Good duel, buddy. Good duel, bud. Good duel, brother.
Yeah, dude. I gotta get.
Good duel, bud. I'm dead. There it is.
Come on. Follow me. Thanks. Goodbye.